Secure notification all on. Right. Giovanni. Thank you very much, Dave. The voice is a crucial skill for you to convey a very strong message to your audience. And you can think in the use of voice as you think as in this show, and you can think of it as a competition. It is a competition between the message you want to convey to your audience and all other interests of the audience. Can be Facebook, they can be thinking on their kids, about her girlfriend or boyfriend. What is he thinking of me? So you need to convey a message in a way that keeps the interest of the audience in you all the time. And to do that, we are going to cover some examples and 4 techniques with 4 different people that are going to teach us how to improve our voice. The first one I would like to show you is Sinatra. Sinatra has a very interesting technique for us to learn. That is that this guy has a lot of clarity and he pronounces each word when he's singing. So when you listen to his music, you can understand everything, even if you are not an English-born person. If you are from other countries, you can understand him. And this is very important. It's so important that if you look around this room at this time, you will see that almost 70% of people are not English speakers. Just to let you know. So if 70% of people do not have English as their mother tongue, you need to use this technique. Because if you are in Australia, like everybody here, and you want to convey a message to people, your audience need to understand you. If you use a lot of words that they don't get, if you use a lot of expressions, slangs, it's your problem, not theirs. Because message is not going through. Your message is lost. So the first technique for today, clarity. Pronounce each word. Let's move to the next one. But before I show you who is this person, let's just forget about politics. I don't care if you like this guy or not. Let's just focus on skills. Obama. Obama uses a very interesting technique as well. When you look at him and you start to watch when he's speaking, you will notice that he uses interpretation and most of all, pauses. When you see he speaks, you will see that he usually starts to build up some content or message or some connection and he pauses. Example, I think on the last Democratic convention, he started saying something like, I know how it is to be in a poor family. And he pauses for seconds. I know how it is for a single mother to raise a child. And then he pauses again. What's he doing? Emotional connection. He's using something that is purely emotional and pausing. So people can connect with him. And then he can deliver whatever message he wants. This is what he does. And you can use this in a lot of other forms. For example, you can build excitement throughout your speech, and then when you, for example, are telling a joke, you use the punchline and then you pause. In this pause, people are going to laugh. That is the time. If you are telling jokes, you need to give people time to understand the joke and laugh. Second point that is important here as well. Sometimes you are explaining something that is complicated, that is hard. It's not a subject that everybody knows. I should not rush through. When I present to the audience a content that is complex, I say it and I pause for people to digest what I just said. Keep that in mind. Let's move to the third person. A person that I really love his voice. Pavarotti. Pavarotti is a singer. He's a tenor. And this guy has one of the skills that I really love. He can control voice pitch. And why it's important? If you read a lot of papers and articles about what makes a really great voice, or what kind of people have a great voice or is a leader, you just find out that people report that they look to a person and feel like that person is a leader when they have a pitch that is low. Low pitch tone. Because if I talk like this, nobody's going to pay attention. And they will not trust me. So it doesn't matter how your voice can be. If you think your voice is bad, doesn't matter. You can change it. You can change it to a way that you will feel more comfortable with it. And also, people will feel empowered by listening to that. So you can control your voice pitch. Ask for feedback from your colleagues, from sister, brothers, parents. So people can tell you how you are speaking and if you can try to change something in your pitch. Fourth and last technique, it's coming from her, Adele. She has something, she has power, she has voice projection. And why it's important? Voice projection is important because when you are, for example, in a big room and there's a lot of people and you don't have a microphone, people on the back need to listen to you. You need to be capable of speaking for maybe 50 people, 100 people. It's possible. Maybe 200. Then okay, then your voice needs to be strong. But you can use voice projection and include variation as well in the voice projection. So when you are going to say something which impacts, see, power, you can raise your voice. When you are saying something that maybe is emotional and touch feelings in your heart, you soften your voice. So you can play with the voice in a way that people will feel much more interested by what you are speaking. It's not just one tone all the time, no variation, and people will just sleep. No. Let's recap the 4 techniques we just saw. First one, clarity. Speak each word. Second one, pauses. You need to pause to make a point, to make a personal connection. Third one, control your pitch. Fourth, projection, power. Use those techniques. And this will all drive us back to where we started, the competition. We have a competition between your voice, your message, and all other audience interests that we need to take care. And let me give you some tips of what you should avoid and what you should do. First thing on this competition that you should avoid: do not have excessive content. If you just add a bunch of slides, a lot of information, statistics, and bunch of different things, people will just get lost. And you need to take care of not exceed the time limits of your presentation. Because if you have 10 minutes, you stick to 10 minutes. If you have 5, it is 5. Don't go to 15. Use 5. This is very important for Toastmasters, Toastmaster contest, and when you are in a meeting as well. Because there's a lot of people that need to speak in a meeting with all your colleagues, and then if somebody just decides that he's going to take 50% of the time, what about the others? So take care of the time you use and the content. Shrink it in a way that your message is going to go through easily. Remember, I present you 4 techniques, and that's it. What you should do then? Use adequate speed. You should not rush through and then speak faster and faster and faster, and then you cannot breathe anymore. And people will feel tired just to looking at you. So you need to make pauses and speak in adequate speed. And the last thing to remember are the care you need to have with your voice. That is really important. And I just have 2 examples from myself of the things you should not do that I already did and is really bad. First thing you should not do, you should not drink alcohol prior to speeches. Example of that, last night I was coming back home and then I was reading, and when I've been through, passing through in front of a bar, a friend of mine was there and he just called me, "Hey Giovanni, come here." And I drank 2 beers with him. I came home to practice this speech. And then I realized how my voice was affected by just 2 beers. And I practiced 4 hours after drinking. So imagine the side effect of it. So if you need to speak and you need your voice to be strong, clear, don't drink. Okay, I know it's easy to make jokes and everything, but if you want quality, don't drink. Second, avoid hot and cold beverages. I almost ruined a speech I did here at Qantas. I think it was in the first month that came, because it was a 1-hour speech. The speech was in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I have trouble waking up, and I came here sleepy. And then I need to do something to wake up prior to the speech. And I bought a big, hot coffee, and I drank it prior. My voice was almost a mess. I needed 3 bottles of water ready throughout the stage that I was speaking, and I would need to drink it all the time so I could speak in a clear way and my voice would not vanish. But even though I was feeling it fading. So avoid that. Don't drink hot coffee or whatever prior to I speak. Third one, avoid tight clothes. Because if you can't breathe properly, if you can't move properly, maybe you do a movement and then your clothes just tear apart. Avoid this type of situation. Get yourself comfortable. And what you should do then? You should drink water at room temperature because it will not damage your voice. Like I did during that speech, 1-hour speech. Then I was drinking water at temperature, to room temperature during 1 hour. And the last one, you can do some voice exercises if you don't feel comfortable in the beginning. If you feel like your voice is maybe failing the first phrases, you can just go to a corner, not close to anybody so they don't think you are crazy, and do some voice exercises. Just to warm up. You can talk to people to warm up as well. And with those techniques that we covered today, and remember the 4 important things, those are just tips, 4 important techniques that are clarity, pauses, pitch control, and voice projection. You are going to deliver a really strong message to your audience, and they are going to pay attention to you from the very first beginning to the end, and they are going to take action on your message. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni.